Good morning. Welcome along to Sha Tin on this glorious Friday morning. As you can see there, bright and sunny. It's certainly very warm for this time of the year here in Hong Kong. It's great to have your company wherever you're tuned into our Trackwork special on this Friday morning on Tomwood and alongside me upstairs on level 8 is Paul Lely. Paul, morning to you. This is the final Trackwork session we do broadcast, but we'll see a few runners, but the anticipation is really there for the weekend.
就唔係完全冇馬快跳嘅，不過咧就可能係教習啊或者出嚟泥地跑道比較多啲啦。冇錯啦。咁啊初步睇咧，見到根據嘅日程就有一隻啦，你最想睇嗰隻啦，生活格調啊，佢就會跳草地嘅。所以真係特登等今日跳啊，睇嚟啊！之前睇咗佢2日咧，都俾大家睇住。睇下佢又會唔會揾啲騎師試下啦，定係都係助手去主理啦。係啦，莫雷拉就到咗㗎啦嚇，咁啊琴日都見過佢。
some point in terms of the Cup, Luxembourg will make his way out. Luxembourg prognosis will come out. Horizon Dore will also come out in terms of the Cup. There's quite a few runners that are going to either go to the parade ring as well as coming out onto the track, and several are going to go up to the starting gates as well. I will also see Junko come out onto the track. West wind blows. Leben still is going to be the only runner to come out on the turf this morning, and also warm heart and more all-weather action with Sephiros, Tribalist, Linz, Kosciuszko, Cairo, Mad Cool, Aesop's Fables, and also Highfield Princess, who we didn't actually see come out onto the track yesterday, Highfield Princess, so hopefully we do see her come out this morning. But here comes the first of them, as the green saddle cloth here report with Leben still. Of course, he is going to be in the Vase and ridden by Joe Moreira. He comes here with an international rating of 115, but just about everyone you speak to, everyone on every street corner is saying Leben still is the horse that is going to win this weekend.
Yeah, exactly. All the coat takers are telling me that this is the one, and look, he's a very progressive horse, Leben still. So
尤其是琴日我哋都講過咧，即係長途咧，就算你話即係個檔位影響都未必咁大啦。你都琴日都話出馬又唔係咁多咧，9隻喎而家嚇。但係又即係喺其他組別退埋，係咯，佢啊心律不正啲。
Is he going to be overbid? Do you think?
I think he will be definitely. Yeah, I think he's going to be unders for sure.
好，咁而家就睇下呢匹嘅生活格調啦。咁啊，草地今朝即係我哋嘅排程邊度得佢嘅啫。
So yeah, I think he will be overbid.
He's coming into the sea. This is going to be his first run in a Group 1 race, but Moreira did comment on his stunning ability last time out that he could become quite a special horse. Leben still a 3-year-old comp by Real Steel. He just continues to improve. He looks like he's still on the up, but this will be his toughest test to date. Where do you think he sort of ends up in the race, and how do you see the race being run?
Yeah, look, I think he sort of comes off the post. So we saw the horse, the last time it was only a 4 runner race, but he goes back, he goes forward, Warm Heart goes forward. She should be a really nice run as well, I think, in the race. But Leben still will get, all these horses will get the opportunity, I think, in the Vase. So field 9 here, and you can see him just coming down. He seems to have really adapted well here to Hong Kong. He's a young horse still on the up. He's not the finished product. I'd like to see him in a year's time.
但係當年程咧就因為嗰啲走規啊又唔係咁易控制嘅馬嚟嘅，呢隻係比較狂野啲啊。係啊，去咗潘頓手咁啊，唯一贏馬配搭喎。不過我覺得佢上次咧睇佢跑11月份嘅時候咧，當時我自己睇佢行圈咧，我覺得隻馬幾成。
He was a Group 2 winner last time out over Sol Orient, so we know how good Sol Orient is over in Japan. He is one of the certainly the best 3-year-olds over there, and looks to have somewhat untapped potential. Japanese St. Ledger third, a Japanese Derby runner-up, and then won the 2,000 guineas, and they're possibly talking about the Arima Kinnan for him next. So he's very smart, and this horse beat him last time out.
Yeah, he did. He's only limited stars. He's had 6 starts today. In his lifetime, he's run three times, 2 seconds, and 1/3 that he's had. So look, he last couple of runs have been in 3-year-old company, so he's got to take on the older horses in this contest as well. He's come through the grades, 100% maiden. 至於你話其他馬咧，好似短途嘅，譬如復日啦，抽到個內檔3檔，
金鑽貴人都唔錯啦，金鑽貴人就5檔啦，都好發揮嘅，即係對佢哋嚟講都係好檔位嚟嘅，冇錯啦。咁啊，轉頭咧見到啲外隊咧都可以問馬豪佢哋啲外地嘅跑法喎，因為咧檔位都好影響佢哋嘅處理㗎嘛。係啊，因為你要外檔埋嚟啊，咁樣究竟縮喺後邊好啊，因為上前邊跟前，甚至帶頭好咧，
yesterday with the unfortunate news before declarations came out that the Group 1 winner Sha Tin was going to be scratched with a veterinary issue. Did you think it was between Lebenstill, Sha Tin, Warm Heart? Is it more of a case now between those bottom two, the 2-3-year-olds? Do you think?
Look, I think the 4-year-old Safira,
可能你試到好嘅，咁但係咧有時又唔得。亦都係即係賽前大家都係睇個形勢去睇下點樣做啦。咁可能有見禮拜3都好似跟前好啲喎，咁咪上去試下咯。有啲就好明顯啦嚇，唔需要捱過惡劣形勢，即係完全變晒嘅咪銀亮光速嗰啲咯。一攝個靚位唔使捱外檔嘅，真係好遠嘅。咁啊，除咗金槍60嘅抽檔麻麻地咧，咁啊加州星球啊抽得幾靚嘅，抽咗個3檔嘅。
Yeah, we're not going to see him in terms of work this morning. He's staying in the quarantine station, but he will go down to the barriers which are situated at the end of the 1,000-metre chute because a lot of these horses, particularly the Japanese horses, aren't used to having handlers in the gates because that is not a thing that happens in Japan, but the whole starting gate mechanism, the structure, everything is different about the Japanese gates, which are presumably Japanese manufactured compared to the Australian sterile gates that we use here, so everything's totally different. The sound, no doubt, everything is all different.
佢又揾到個遮擋咧，會跑高嘅呢個佢就唔使一定要貼欄添啦，佢預貼都 OK 嘅。冇錯。雖然咧佢都係一隻冇乜口嘅馬啦，但係以往見佢咧稍稍有啲遮擋，佢會再放鬆啲嘅隻馬，再好啲。所以我見佢喺澳洲嗰陣時，佢未揾到啲遮擋啊，衝得好嘅。博士頓嗰場賽事就，
and then a number of the runners also will head around to the parade ring at some point, and it's really just a massive amphitheatre in there. It'll be ram-packed, there'll be noise. If a few things don't go the way of certain jockeys that punters sort of expect things to go through in their way in the early part of the day, the crowd of the parade ring does get a little vocal towards some of those jockeys too, don't they?
Again, that'd be all new to these horses, so they've had a good look at the surroundings before they get there. At least the
咁啊，賽後都聽阿麥道朗佢都訪問都講話隻馬，即係早段俾佢嘅感覺幾好咯。即係所以有時大家唔係話淨係睇鬥拉屎嗰啊，當然精彩啦臨尾啊，但係早段啲騎師都做咗好多嘢嘅。早段如果走得唔順嘅，咁啊何來末段鬥得咁精彩啊？因為早段一唔順，我哋見錯嘅馬係冇影嘅，可以跑到係好多嘅。
On Zafiro, he was actually ridden by Joe Moreira last time out. Was that weekend, Joe, I think, won 11 races in Japan, and he was one of those horses that Joe did ride to win the Copa Republica Argentina. There from barrier number 9, he came from a long way back in the field. He was probably about midfield in the end, but they were stretched out a fair way, and he just found all the breaks when required, and he was able to go on and win that as a favourite. So 2,500 that was, 2,400 is going to be zero problem for him.
可以 pick up 得到啦。
睇
佢行咁耐咧，即係大致上嚟講咧，佢都算係神態自若嘅嚇。你話佢有冇完全冇即係一啲嘅動靜啊？係爭少嘅啫，我覺得有少少啫。但係3歲馬嚟講，佢好收貨。
And he'll get his opportunity. The other Japanese run, Geraldina, she's been here before as well. And
依家咧就去到大概機坪嗰邊度嘅。
She didn't succeed here last time, of course, but they look to try again with Geraldine. Got herself worked up in quite a tense state. She was sweating a lot last time she came here. That, of course, was for the FWD QE2 Cup behind Romantic Warren, was beaten 5 lengths. Chased-home Bredoveg last time out. Missed the start quite badly that day, and she reared up, so hopefully she's more on her game this time round.
Smaller field here should help her as well. There was a field of 15.
都跳咗有6-7隻㗎。
This is 9, so she should be able to.
咁啊，轉頭都可以同大家補充下。
跳
啲就離心明遠啦。 係啦，磅部俾就琴日嘅
Queen Elizabeth II in the Cup. Of course, that was a race she won going back to 2022, beating home the likes of Lilac and also Win Marilyn, and has run in behind Equinox, of course, in the Takarazuka Kinnan from Barry number 11 with Yutaka Take, and William Buick is going to take the ride this week for Takashi Saito, the trainer of Geraldina, the beautifully bred mare by Morris. Of course, Gentle Donna. Morris, he dazzled here twice, didn't he?
Yeah, he did. I was lucky to see him both times, and he was very impressive. His races, and was a really good sight to see here in Hong Kong. But here's Lebon still now, and he's just starting to click up his work. Lebon still, the 3-year-old colt. He's just going nicely down the back here at this stage, and he'll just start to get faster and faster as he comes into the straight.
Yep, so down the side of the track he comes. He's heading over towards about the 700 metres to this point. Just a light piece of work at this point. We'll see if he's clicked up any more on the straight. His handler walked him a fair way around the turn out of the straight, just walking around there, but he's making his way around the turn now, just passing the entrance to the quarantine facility here at Sha Tin, and it looks like he's going to probably do not too much more than this. He's a little playful just on the entrance to the straight there, but nothing serious. All these horses, most of them, they've done all the serious work prior to arriving. Now it's just about keeping them ticking over, healthy and happy.
Yeah, exactly, and that's exactly what he's doing here at the moment, and it's just nice, easy work as he comes down. So nothing too serious at all for this horse, and you can see Lebon still, he's all set to go for Sunday, and he's doing it nicely. You can see why people have been talking him up, but he's definitely
no doubt, no doubt. What of the other horses now that we've seen and talked about him a fair bit? Lebon still, of course, in the race is Junko here for Andre Fabre and Maxime Guillon, who is going to take the ride. We'll come back to that shortly, but we can actually get down to Nick Child, who is our man down on the inner part of the track, and he's standing by with iRace, former guide editor. That is Luke Middlebrook out of Singapore.
Yes, thanks very much, Tom. Yeah, pleased to bump into a familiar old face from my time in Singapore. Luke Middlebrook from iRace has joined me. Luke, great to see you here as always. You were just telling me beforehand that you got in at about 3 a.m, so many thanks for talking to us.
Yeah, thanks, Nick. Thanks for throwing me straight into the deep end of just a few hours sleep.
Now, this is a huge meeting. We all know that, obviously, and being based in Singapore. Let's start our focus with the runner from Singapore, Lums Kosciuszko. We spoke to Dan Meyer yesterday. I mean, he's a seriously good horse back in his hometown, isn't he? And this will be his second trip here.
Yep. And he's just been in fantastic form this year after his Hong Kong sprint run last year. He's only been beaten on one occasion this season, and stretching from a wide range of distances, and culminating in a huge win last start in the Group 1 Singapore Gold Cup over 2,000 metres under handicap conditions. His class was just to the fore that day. They took luck out of the equation. They just went straight to the front from the right, from a wide barrier, and on pace. And it was just too strong late.
We possibly, I know it's a tough race. I mean, we can't escape the fact, obviously, Golden 60s in the race, California Spangle amongst the Japanese, which have got 5. But now that he's up over a mile, are we possibly in danger of maybe sort of writing him off too quickly over this sort of trip? Because I mean, he does know how to win, and Dan seems to be of the impression that he's a better horse this year.
Yeah, and I completely agree with that too. I think coming to Hong Kong last year, I mean, maybe it toughened him up, because he's just been a force to be reckoned with over in Singapore this year, as his form suggests and his record suggests. He's got a great barrier, a low drawing barrier too. He's got that early speed that he can put himself into the race early, and he's going to get a cosy run by. From what it looks like, so time will tell. I hope he really acquits himself well.
Yeah, it would be great for Singapore. Obviously, we mentioned Japan. They've got 5 in the mile. We just saw Lebenstiel gallop behind us there. You're a man who has your finger on the pulse, international racing. Luke, what do you make of the Japanese contingent? Obviously, it's always strong coming here, and they look to have some serious chances this year.
Yeah, and Lebenstiel is actually a really intriguing runner because yet to race at Group 1 level, I believe, and this is an acid test for him. He's probably going to be favoured in the betting with Joe Moreira riding. But yeah, I've actually sided with Warm Heart in that race. Yeah.
That makes 2 of us.
Okay, excellent. All the best to us.
Yeah, quite. Obviously, and then we do have representation, obviously, from France and obviously Ireland, as you said, and O'Brien, and not forgetting the Crisfords runner in West Wind Blows as well, bringing that Australian form in. Yeah,
I actually really like West Wind Blows. I think there's a really key positive jockey change there with James McDonald taking over the saddle. 2 really good runs in the Turnbull and the the first up in the I've forgotten the race names now, but
I think it was the Turnbull, wasn't it?
Turnbull, and then the Caulfield Cup. Runner up.
He finished in front of Romantic Warrior.
Exactly. Yeah. And third up, he just had no luck in the run when he was sent off favourite in the Champion Spring Stakes, and I think he can run a really cheeky race.
Yeah, he's a nice horse. I think they're pretty confident as well, from what I can gather. If I had to get you to pin your colours to the mast, Luke, for one, you can be biased and say Lives Kosciuszko, but if it's not him, who is it?
In the mile or
in any race?
Oh, any race. Oh, look, I think I've been lucky Sweynesse in the sprint for me for sure. Captain Obvious there, but I've been waiting for him to find himself in a bigger field race. Like the small fields this season, the tempos of the race have just been against him, but he's still just been performing admirably. I think, what else have I sided with? Warm Heart in the Vase, and Lucky Sweynesse in the sprint, and in the mile. Look, I can't go past the Champ Golden 60. I think you're just going to get a better price on the day. Given that he's first up and drawn wide, and the market might take him on in that respect, but I think he's good enough to overcome it.
Yeah, no, they say 14. It's not going to be easy, but a big field does make it very interesting. Having only just got here, you're obviously able to enjoy the rest of your time here. Obviously, the big meeting on Sunday and that sort of thing. So always nice to come back.
Yeah. I haven't been here for a long time now. I think 2019 might have been the last time I came here. It's great to be back. Great to be amongst the action. The weather's great. Let's hope it holds through till Sunday.
Yeah, indeed. Well, Luke, great to chat to you. Many thanks, and enjoy the rest of your time here.
All right, cheers, Nick. Good to see you.
Tom, Paul, back to you.
Thank you, Nick. Thank you, Lucas. We see a few more runners making their way out on to the track here on this splendid Friday morning. We've got Tribalist, Junko, and also Horizon Dore making their way out onto the track here. Paul, you're quite keen on Horizon Dore this weekend?
Yeah, I don't mind him, actually. I quite liked his run in France where he came way off the pace and really showed a really good turn of foot. So I don't mind him. I think he's a horse that's settled in well here, what we've seen so far. So I wouldn't be surprised if he ran a good race. It's kind of like the Japanese grade here that we're seeing as well. He's run one of the quickest times down the straight this week. He's the one that's really ready to go for me. So he's going to give them
Well, he is a
5-time winner of his 10 starts. He's only had one try to Group 1 level, and that was last time out in the Sprinters Stakes, and he was only beaten a nose there. He sat just off the pace and closed really strongly. Japanese horses, they come here, they can thrive in this type of contest over the 1200 metres course. We've seen Canaloa, Danon Smash, of course, and that's been a sort of a well-trodden path for success, the Sprinter Stakes into the Hong Kong Sprint for Japanese runners. You think he's got what it takes to win this? Because let's face it, Lucky Sweynesse, I don't think he's been at his best in his last couple of starts. Lucky Sweynesse, yes, things went against him first up, a rain-affected track, that very quick time that Victor, the winner, was able to run home, and over the final stages he wasn't going to win that, but he has raced in some unusual races as well, I believe.
No, he has, yeah. So look, this is a good opportunity, because the Hong Kong horses do well in the sprint, but I think this is an opportunity for a Japanese horse Another overseas because we've got the British horse in there as well. He's Dan and the Kid. He's been here before as well. Dan and the Kid, and he's run well. The 5 here.
Yeah, so he's just making his way out here down on the Kids, and he of course is going around in the mile as we see Mad Cool here on an international rating of 115. What's the pace going to be like in the sprint, and how do you sort of see them lining up from the start? Because the barrier draws, of course, for the sprinter, certainly that and the Cup are more crucial than most here, aren't they?
I think you're going to get Victor the winner lead, and Jasper Krone, which is the other Japanese, come across from his wide draw, and they'll share it. The 3 that have drawn alongside each other, which is Side Success, Mad Cool, and also Lucky Sway Ness, are going to be fighting for the positions behind. But I think Highfield Princess might have to sit 3 wide from her draw, which will give whoever does sit in behind her a bit of cover.
Yeah, on Highfield Princess, she's obviously got that awkward barrier draw here for John Quinn and Jason Harvey. She is a 4-time Group 1 winner and was too strong for them, of course, in the King George last time out as a favourite there by a length. So she is fairly versatile, but she's only had 1 win over the distance of 1,200 metres. She's certainly had quite a bit of success over 5 furlongs.
So she's got the pace. We know that Victor is a very pacey horse, and what we've seen of Jasper Krone, he's very, very pacey as well. And she's drawn the outside of the 3, so they could be in a line there, those 3.
So here we've got the 2 runners. On the left is down on the Kid. On the right is Mad Cool. Let's quickly touch on down on the Kid, who of course is going around in the mile. Down on the Kid now. He actually raced here. He has raced here on 2 occasions, of course, and both over the 2,000 metres. He won a Group 1 poll, but it was back in 2020, and since then he's been beaten in 9 more. Is that a concern?
Yeah, it is a little bit. He did come and pay good odds when he ran second in the mile championship. No, sorry, in the Cup when he did come here and ran second. So behind Romantic Warrior. So, I mean, that form looks quite good. He was no match for Romantic Warrior that day, but he was best of the rest. But as you say, it was a while ago, and he hasn't sort of won for a little while now. So
Takayuki Yasuda, his trainer, and Yuichi Kitamura taking the irons again this weekend here with down on the Kid now. He's just having a light stretch out on the all-weather. Going a little quicker is Mad Cool on the right-hand side of your screens. Here's where you go full frame now with Mad Cool, and you're not going to miss him in the run here, are you?
No, exactly. Look, he's looked good. I mean, his gallops have been good. When he galloped on the turf the other day, he did 21 and change coming down. So he had a serious workout. We saw when Lord Carolina did it, he did it 3 times in the week, so they don't mind really sort of stretching these sprinters out before the race, the Japanese. And look, he's come here in really good order, so he looks good. The other one that's just come on screen now as well is West Wind Blows, and West Wind Blows is in the VAR, so he's another leading contender. He's going back to UAE or going via. He's gone via Australia, so he's had his passport well and truly stamped, and did run a really good second in the Caulfield Cup.
You would hope his barrier manners have got a little bit better, because in all 3 of those runs down in Australia, he was just not showing a great deal of early pace from the stalls, was he?
No, he wasn't at all. So we'll see how he gets on over this 2,400 metres. If he jumps, I think he'll only sort of put himself in a mid.
Let's head back down to the outside of the all-weather track, the inside of the turf. Nick Child is standing by with Jack Dorling, one of the racing riders for the South China Morning Post, the local paper here in Hong Kong.
Yes, thank you very much, Tom. Now, he might not be a familiar face to too many. He would have read some wonderful work in the South China, of course, but Jack joins me now. Jack, great to obviously be able to catch up with you. We deal with you plenty, but nice to have you on our live Trackwork show this morning. This is rather exciting, isn't it?
It is. It's very exciting. It's my first actual international races here over in Hong Kong, and the weather's playing ball. We have a host of stars lining up as well, and hopefully even Golden 60 can try and overcome stall 14 in the mile.
Yeah, that would be nice, wouldn't it? I mean, for the local team, of course. But let's maybe cast our attentions more so to the visitors, of course. Highfield Princess, we're just seeing galloping now. I mean, you and I both being Brits, she's going to take a bit of focus from us, I'm sure.
Yeah, 100%. I think she's going to have her work cut out, drawn outside there. And of course, they have decided to come and miss the Breeders' Cup and come straight here from her Abbey win. Look, she's an absolute stalwart of the British sprinting ranks over in Europe there. In every kind of European sprinting race there has been, she has been there. She's been a common force there. I mean, if you look at her winning the King George at Goodwood this year in attritional conditions, she did that in great style as well. She looked in fine form this morning. Jason Hart's going to be aboard her as well. The whole family are here as well. It's a big family affair. It's very refreshing to see, and hopefully she'll be able to fly the British flag come Sunday.
How good is your French? They've got a pretty strong hand. We're seeing Tribalist here as well on screen. I mean, for me, I thought the interesting angle into him was perhaps the ground, but he's got a bit of class, hasn't he?
He does have a bit of class. I think all of the French actually do have a bit of class. I'm also looking forward to seeing Horizon D'Or in the Cup lineup against Romantic Warrior. He's drawn stall 1, which I actually think could be a slight hindrance. I know he likes to be held up, and Mikel Barcelona, I think, is probably licking his lips there. Didn't quite like the ground last time out in the Champions Stakes, so hopefully he'll be able to come for this. I think conditions are perfect for him over this mile and a quarter, but I wouldn't be surprised to see the French go very close with their contenders.
He's been a bit of a boom horse, hasn't he, for a lot of people? I mean, everyone you speak to, there's obviously everyone always has a horse that they really like, but Horizon D'Or certainly is one that I think many are flagging up as a potential horse that we might see for seasons to come.
100%. Look, he's a gelding, so I think it's great that they're coming over here to actually try these big Group 1 contests overseas. It's one of those where he's been very impressive in what he's done. It's the manner of which he's done it. He's a very strong traveller. He likes to come from the rear of the field, scoot round the outside, we saw in the Prix d'Orange last time out, on his penultimate start. But I think there's a lot to be proud of from his run in the Champions Stakes. As you say, he's not actually a Group 1 winner. He's got to get the better of Romantic Warrior in Luxembourg, who himself's a 3-time Group 1 winner. But I'd say he's probably well poised to give a good account.
Talking of Group 1 winners, I know you're pretty sweet on one in the Vase. A few Group 1 winners in there. We've just seen Junko gallop as well for France. Smallfield Group 1 winner last time in Germany. Andre Fabre doesn't send them here just for the good of their health.
Yeah, look, when Andre Fabre, the Master of France, sends them here, look, you've got to take notice. Junko's a very, very respectable opponent for who he's going to be up against. But again, I think he probably faces a bit of a tough assignment.
Go on then, tell us, which one is it?
It's probably going to be Warm Heart for me. Warm Heart in the Vase. I think when Ryan goes to 117, I think the last time he went to 117 was in June 2006 at Brighton Racecourse when he was riding for his dad, Gary Moore. I think he finished second in a Class 6 maiden that day. So when he goes to the depths of 117, you've got to take notice. Of course, he comes off the back of an injury in Japan, but he's the Longines World Best Jockey, I think 3 times now, and he's done that for good reason. Warm Heart, she's a 2-time Group 1 winner this year over, of course, in Europe. And then even in the Breeders' Cup as well, behind Inspiral, she ran a cracking race over a mile and a quarter. Ryan gave her a peach of a ride there. I think the step up to a mile and a half should suit. The ground's perfect, and I think she may go and win.
It's great having Aidan here, isn't it? I mean, he's going to have his first runner in a sprint. He's got 4 runners, 1 in every single race, and he really has, unsurprisingly, been one of the star attractions this week.
Oh, 100%. Look, he's been absolutely grand. He's been having interviews and photos with everyone who comes up to him, and goodness me, he even said yesterday this is probably the best team he's ever sent over to Hong Kong. So even the likes of Aesop's Fables, the improving 3-year-old, and Cairo, who comes from running second to Paddington in the Irish 2000 Guineas earlier in the season, he definitely has a strong team. Of course, Luxembourg and Warm Heart is where everyone's going to be looking, and Luxembourg himself, 3-time Group 1 winner, had a small bruise in his foot last time, which actually put him out of the Champions Stakes, but he's definitely going to be a good opponent as well.
And Jack, what have you made of it all? I mean, obviously, you're a younger chap than some, so obviously, all of your sort of racing career very much ahead of you, I would imagine. But what have you made of all of this? I mean, you've probably been to Ascot's and different things and big meetings back home, but this is quite something, isn't it?
It really is. There's this international buzz around the place. It's fantastic. I mean, everyone's here. I mean, everyone who could possibly, I suppose, international raiders-wise, is here. I mean, it's brilliant to see everyone out and about. I suppose that we've put the dreaded COVID behind us now, and this is the first time I'm hearing from other people. There really is a buzz. I mean, at Happy Valley on Wednesday night, it was an absolutely terrific evening for the International Jockeys Championship, and I suppose Sunday's going to be exactly the same.
It certainly will be. Well, listen, Jack, great to chat to you. Of course, I'm sure you've got to go and put pen to paper now or something, because you're as busy as everybody else. I've seen you running around frantically. But thanks for chatting to us, and enjoy the rest of the week.
Thanks, Nick.
Good to hear there from Jack Dorling from the South China Morning Post, just speaking with Nick Childs, and we're seeing a few more runners make their way out from the quarantine facility here at Sha Tin.
同你嘅睇法一樣喎，而家你琴日都講過呢隻馬係大家要重視啊，係啦，係因為佢就近況係正鋭啦，呢一級賽就唔止贏嗰場啦。雖然就啱啱美國就失手啊，輸俾美國鬼精同馬嗰場同馬者杯黐馬草地咁叫啊，輸少少。
In his own right, still a 4-year-old. What do you make of him going into the mile this weekend?
I think he's one of the leading chances. He's drawn nicely there number 4. He brings some strong form into the race. He did win the World Championship a few starts back in November.
好足主意喎，見到啊，係啊，咁啊，逐隻都講啦。首先咧，見到嗰隻咧就係地平流金啦，呢隻法國嘅馬嚟嘅。咁啊，呢啲咧其實係即係完全係唔起眼到得緊要啊。本身咧佢又好似識淡淡咁，咁跟住就剪咗毛啦。望埋去咧好似好行咁啊啲馬個感覺。但係我覺得呢啲馬其實係有啲，即係你唔知佢有幾多銀牌㗎。係啊，神操咧基本上佢 show 唔到啲咩俾你睇。咁啊另一隻咧就係嗰隻盤族主義啦，呢隻亦都係法國馬嚟嘅。咁佢腳法就唔係好靚啊，不過咧我覺得跳過隻馬都算落腳幾輕嘅，同埋行翻個神態唔錯啊。另一隻就增強啦，佢都跳咗草地嘅，唔係跳咗泥地嘅。咁啊佢去到臨近終點過終點嗰幾步咧，就有少少跳型啊，因為啱啱終點位嗰度咧，就啱啱太陽打落嚟咧，就有啲即係影可能嚇親啲咁啲大高少少腳係啦。咁就另外都仲有嘅，譬如嗰隻綠色11啦，佢都跳得唔錯嘅。咁啊翻去咧輕輕有啲唔定啦，但係咧問題唔大。講下隻地平流金啦，好少提佢嘅，因為就係正如大家所講，佢真係唔係好起眼，佢走嘅路線都唔係好起眼嘅。但係直至喺邊度時候蒲出頭來咧嚇，就英國冠軍錦標嗰場，因為嗰場就好重要嘅賽事嚟嘅。當時就跑完地跑第3啦，輸俾港鐵大王，因為港鐵大王今日歐洲最犀利。咁啊呢啲馬都即係要小心係啦。假如佢對乾快場地適應到嘅話咧，就可以成局改變晒㗎。即係呢隻都唔敢話佢係一定冇機會。只不過過往就即係喺遠地多啦嚇，但係佢少啲跑啲乾快場地。
I've seen no end of Highfield Princess baseball caps here this morning. She's got a big support crew.
Yeah, from the Breeders' Cup, of course. Such a decorated mare. She's travelled all around the world. Of course, that magnificent feat last season with those 3 Group 1s in the space of such a short amount of time. So it's unsurprising she's very popular, really. And she's just had a really nice manner about her the whole week. She goes around with her ears pricked, takes everything in and looks really well. Worked properly on turf a couple of days ago. She looked good there. Today, I was taken aback by just how fresh she looked as she walks past us there. John Quinn, just had a quick word with him, said that he was delighted with how she handled the bend, which of course is going to be a key feature of Sunday's race. The draw wasn't too kind in 9, could have her work cut out from there, but we've seen so far in this mare's career that adaptability is her thing. She has such a depth of talent in terms of the positions she can race from and how much she finds under pressure, so that's going to serve her well on Sunday.
I had a wonderful chat with John Quinn earlier on this week, and I mean, he gave us chapter and verse on this mare, but as you would, given what she's done. But for you in the press and the media and watching on what she's been able to achieve, I mean, the story is quite something, isn't it? I mean, to go from Northern handicaps, getting beaten in them, to doing what she's done now, I mean, it's just such a wonderful story, and clearly they really enjoy racing her.
Yes, absolutely, and fingers crossed we'll get to see her beyond Sunday as well. She started off in handicaps off a mark of 57 and she was beaten, so that's quite incredible really. It's been great to see how they've championed running her season after season and given her different challenges rather than just, you know, staying to the safe route. She's incredibly popular and I just want her to run her race on Sunday. We know that Brits and Europeans don't have a great record in the race, but she'd have been the best to try for many a year. And as I say, although there might have been horses with slightly more ability to try it, they probably needed a set of conditions to enable them to unlock that, whereas she doesn't. She's very, very versatile.
Yeah, she most definitely is. Away from her, obviously, we've got a couple of the Japanese horses on screen now. Prognosis was what I wanted to ask you about, because a lot of people certainly giving him every chance. I mean, he has been here before as well, and we know how well the Japanese travel and how much they love to come here and win.
Yeah, I think you can upgrade his previous run at this track as well, because the pace setup probably wasn't ideal for him. Came through very strongly late on. I think he's going to be set for another really big run, actually. His hold-up style of racing should suit him with a decent pace on in the Cup. But that's an interesting affair. I'm quite interested in Horizon Dory again, who's going to be ridden in a similar way in that race. Last saw him in the Champion Stakes at Ascot, of course. But if there's one Japanese horse who has caught my eye the whole week, it's got to be the Vars contender Livestream. This is a horse who's really at his peak now. When we last saw him, he put in an excellent performance. And I think Joe Moreira on board is going to be another huge feather in his cap. He looks fantastic, and I wouldn't be surprised if he won in very dominant fashion indeed.
Yeah, you're certainly not the only one that's flagged him up. I think every person on track has given some sort of mention for Livestream. I must ask you, while we've got you on the coverage, is obviously Aidan O'Brien. There's a lot made of his participation here. Great to see him at Happy Valley the other night as well. First time he was there, apparently, by all accounts. And he brings a strong team, obviously, headed by Luxembourg.
Yes, a deep team as well. Luxembourg went close in the Irish Champion Stakes behind his stablemate Auguste Rodin. We know what that horse has gone on to do. Again, fantastic. We're going to see him in training next year. It'd be amazing if he could come here, wouldn't it? But yeah, Luxembourg, Tatzel's Gold Cup winner. He's very tough. He's honest. He's going to race prominently. I worry maybe if he's going to lack a slight change of gear in the closing stages against some of those strong Japanese horses, could be vulnerable to a closer. But he's a world-class horse who's undoubtedly going to be on the premises.
Yeah, he's a nice horse, isn't he? He's a lovely horse, in fact. But Maddie, great to chat to you as always. I'll let you get on. I know you're very busy indeed, but enjoy the rest of your time here, and obviously Sunday will be a big one, and I'm sure you'll enjoy that.
Yeah, can't wait. Thanks so much, Nick.
Great to hear there from Matty Pale out of the racing post with Nick Childs down there. We're looking here at a little hard to decipher Paul Blue in the black saddlecloths this year, but it is prognosis, and he's come here before. I guess we just need to see him harness his early energy, because he can get a little bit keen in the early stages too. He'll be looking for a bit of pace, or you can see he's wanting to get the head up there, so it's not the easiest of customers to deal with by the looks of things.
No, he's not, and look, he does get back in his run, so it's just how he does settle in the race. And we just had Matty talk about Luxembourg. He's going to be right on the pace, and 頭先連野田小子都跳嘅，我估計呢佢哋都會跳㗎啦，都會快跳㗎啦。爭在就跳幾快啦。咁啊，除咗佢咧，另一隻就係秀日小島啊。佢就喺佢後面唔遠嘅地方。呢個先見咧，嗰個姜口好似爭少少喎。呢一招。
He was probably a bit unlucky here last time, but he ran through the line strongly, of course, behind Romantic Warrior, beaten 2 lengths, and of course was in that QE2 Cup. He's only had 2 runs since then, the Sapporo Kinnan, where he just absolutely whacked them for 6. And the Sapporo Kinnan there by 4 lengths over Top Knife, and then was third in the Tenno Show Autumn behind Equinox, and he was a little bit slow out. He was bumped at the start, and he stayed on well enough out wider, but he'll be looking for the race run to suit. Certainly prognosis, and Yuga Kawada takes the ride on him. That is saddlecloth at number 11 again there with Seraphos, who of course, excuse me, is going around in the Milan. Was he ridden a little upside down last time out? Yuga Kawada had his, well, he's ridden him in the past, but he's had 2 wins on him, but he was on him last time out behind him. Was he a bit close to the speed in that race, you think?
Yeah, look, I think he was, and he just didn't really finish it off. The race was a run to suit. He drew 11 as well, so as well. So look, I think it's a forgive that race. He wasn't on paper. He wasn't too far. 因為日本嘅代表就好重視呢樣嘢嘅，係咯。咁而家13匹日本代表，因為原本有大帝就14匹㗎嘛，大帝就出唔到啦，就13匹㗎都。而家有3隻韞咗喺個閘入邊咧，又唔俾喐㗎，一路企喺個閘入邊，即係搞埋紀錄，佢哋係教㗎。
He normally benefits from a run or two. Does Seraphos, and it looks like they've definitely set their sights on this race with him. That this has been a target. So he's been first up into the Mile Championship, and here they go second up with Seraphos, the son of Daiwa Major, and Matsumasa is his trainer, Nakashida, and of course the trainer, Matsumasa, He's trained 5 individual Group 1 winners, including the Triple Tiara winner in the form of Liberty Island. Here is Lims Kosciuszko. Of course, he's also going around in the mile. Went round in the sprint last year, and he was under pressure just on turning in when Danny Beasley was here riding him behind Wellington. So versatile, Paul. Wins all over the show, right up to 2,000 metres last time out of the Singapore Gold Cup. He was very good in that. He had to really earn it over the final stages. He drew barrier 16, so it was almost a career best for him last start, if it wasn't already a career best.
Yeah, some of Kumadica's Lims Kosciuszko did run last year in the sprint last time behind Wellington this time last year. So trying the mile here, as you mentioned, they did 2,000 metres. It's unbeatable back in Singapore. Seems to win for fun over there.
Okay, and Dan Mars saying last time he just thought he may have overthought preparing him, did a few things he would normally do with him last time out, so let's hope he can run well. Singapore's likely last, no doubt will be Singapore's last international runner here in Hong Kong. But let's head down to Nick Child again. He's standing by with Ed Crisford, the team all part of Westwood Blowers.
Yeah, thank you very much, Tom. One half of Gainsborough Stables, of course. Ed and Simon Crisford, father and son team, bring Westwind Blows to Hong Kong this year. Ed, great to see you here. Your horse has seemingly settled in quite well. How pleased have you been with him so far?
Yeah, I got in last night and had a look at him. Really, really pleased with him. He looks fantastic in weight-wise and condition, and he's really fresh and well. And Paul and Steve, I think Paul fell off him the other day, so he's in good order. So we just gave him a nice canter this morning, a nice swinger, and he looks in good shape.
You should be used to that. Ex-national hunt jockey, of course, Paul Holly, who you refer to, and Steve, who's with him. Talk us through his sort of campaign in Australia, because there were a couple of really good runs there. One notable one in the Turnbull, for which he finished even in front of our very own Romantic Warrior.
Yeah, the first 2 runs in Australia were superb. As you say, beating Romantic Warrior and, second to gold trip, and without a fight in the Caulfield Cup, so the last 2 Melbourne Cup winners. So if he brings that form here, he'll be very competitive. It looks a very deep race here with Aiden's filly and the very good Japanese 3-year-olds. So he needs to find a few pounds on them, but if he does that, then he'll be in the mix for sure.
How long has this sort of been the plan, Ed, to bring this horse here? I mean, he is a gelding, of course. He's that sort of the epitome, perhaps, of a Vase type. Was this always on the radar for you?
Yeah, we're definitely thinking about it. And once he ran such a good race in the Caulfield Cup, we sort of thought if he comes out of the Champions, well, we'll aim him at Hong Kong. And he bounced out of that Champions. It didn't really go to plan that day. Sort of just put a line through it, just the way the race panned out. But yeah, we thought, look, a mile and a half here should suit him really well.
We've got him on screen here, Ed. He's down at the gate, so just all part of the preparation. He's a pretty good horse at the gates usually.
Well, no, not usually. He's always been a sort of a stalls rug candidate, and then in Australia he just started to jump real slow. So at Werribee, before he came here, we did a lot of stalls work with him, and we've taken the rug off him. And he's been jumping a lot better, and he's taken it to it really well. So we're just taking him for his last gate schooling session, just stand him in there, no rug, and just to get him ready for Sunday.
Hopefully all that goes swimmingly. For those with slightly longer memories, of course, and those that follow your stable, your father, Simon, was a long time attached to Godolphin, and you were just telling me off air that this is always somewhere where he likes to visit. No trip this year, though, but there'll be some great memories and some great conversations about Hong Kong, I'm sure.
Yeah, no, sadly Dad couldn't make it out, but he always says he just absolutely loves this place, and they've had some really great success. When Dad was at Godolphin, fantastic light winning the Cup, and they had Remonti and Firebreak and Mastery winning the Vase, so he's had some really great success here, and so to do it together and as a trainer would be fantastic.
And what have you made of the whole experience, Ed? I mean, the facilities here, etc., obviously second to none, and it's such a big meeting, such a big attendance for media and horsemen and women as well. So it really is one of the huge global race meetings in the world.
No, absolutely, it really is. It's an absolutely beautiful place, and the guys have been looked after so well. Hong Kong Jockey Club really, really do look after everyone, and as you said, the facilities are fantastic. So, no, it's really, really great to be here, and let's just hope we can get a win.
Indeed. We wish you well. Look, I'll let you go and watch your horse go through the gates, but thanks for chatting to us, Ed.
Brilliant. Thanks so much, Nick.
好，咁啊，剛才就風東來嘅練馬師有幾小風嘅訪問嚟嘅，咁就父子檔啦，爸爸幾師風啦，咁啊兩位咧其實都係高多分嘅成員嚟嘅，以前都係，而家就獨立發展，咁其實都同高多分嘅關係都好密切嚟嘅。咁講到風東來啦，去到澳洲嗰時嘅情況啦，咁啊幾少風就講咧，其實喺東寶錦標佢都知贏過樂華勇士啦，咁啊之後考菲爾德杯咧就有啲唔抵啦，佢覺得因為輸好少嘅啫，但係後來睇翻佢贏嗰匹係冇辦法贏杯嘅不戰而勝咧，咁佢覺得。揸住呢一個嘅賽績嚟到香港，其實就惡氣十足嘅。佢對呢場賽事期望好高。咁我哋頭先都睇到啦，跳完之後，風東來對佢埋交集。
我都啱啱想講呢樣嘢啦，因為過往咧好少見其他國家嘅代表咧會去交集嘅。咁啊，頭先我哋見到咧，譬如好似愛爾蘭佢哋嗰啲代表都去咗交集喎，都好少可咁嘅情況。
而且佢係啱啱跳完。
頭先見到盧森堡啦，咁啊見到有嗰啲大開羅啊嗰啲都過咗去，
即係話古摩亞嗰4匹啦，見到佢哋啦，喺度喺前面嗰幾匹就係。
以往歐洲隊咧就好少話會仿效日本隊做呢樣嘢喎。咁啊，今年有呢啲咁嘅舉動喎。
因為今年就即係好明顯同過咗3年，因為疫情嘅影響，即係歐洲隊就可以即係我相信係心思熟慮啲。可以揀啲好啲嘅馬，咁又唔需要話擔心入境有問題啊。因為香港咧，如果相對去澳洲咧，佢嘅檢疫就容易啲，即係冇話本身都唔緊要嘅。澳洲就真係難好多。咁但係點解佢哋都要堅持喺澳洲咧？因為馬票最主要係買票。咁啊呢個舉動我覺得值得留意喎。好少見歐洲隊咁可能係咪即係見日本隊話呢啲即係訓練幾好啊咁定係即係本身都有咁嘅做法咧？唔知道啊，但係以往就少啲見嘅。都會㗎，因為其實就近期啦嚇，練馬師學法咧，即係古摩亞嘅陣營咧，佢哋跑得最好嘅馬咧，居然係同日本馬有關，好似多產巨匠咁啦，根本係大震撼啲仔嚟嘅，攞打比嘅。咁啊，原來在此之前咧，即係其實學法人睇法喺一啲訪問都講啦，佢就未必係話對日本馬嗰個啲血緣啊嗰啲話認識好深入，佢唔係認識，即係冇咁深入啦。咁啊，隨住今年咧，日本血緣嘅馬喺歐洲係大放異彩，所以咧就令到佢哋對日本嘅賽馬可能點解咁成功啊？都好嘅，即係互相學習啊！即係你而家日本賽，即係日本嘅賽馬，甚至佢哋嘅配種嗰個時，即係嗰個馬嘅時咧，係影響到全世界。咁啊，交流上你唔多唔少都要對佢哋識再多。因為你話慣常日本咁做咧，就絕對唔出奇。基本上佢哋嘅日程係慣㗎啦。但係歐洲隊咁做咧，就真係少見啊！咁啊，另外咧頭先都見到嗰啲磅礴無比啊，過咗去兩上孫踱步出咗嚟啦。咁啊，嗰隻會兩孫個神態幾好嘅。會兩孫就正係佢啱啱起飛嘅時候啦。依家就係呢段係佢起飛緊嘅時候。另外都補充埋嗰隻起飛王女啦，佢都係嚟地跳咗。不過我覺得跳落咧佢跑短途，但個勢又唔算好強啊。有少少驚，即係擔心啦，就係你喺歐洲跑短途嗰個速度咧，同香港係有啲。即係始終講速度慢聲嗰種咧，按快嘅加埋香港嗰啲響位式嗰啲咧，歐洲隊都係蝕底啲。咁唔係完全冇上過名或者贏馬嘅咁啊，佢近年掌權權啦嚇，上過名。嗱呢紮愛爾蘭代表咧就應該去泥地嗰度再鬆下啲腳頭都唔定嘅。佢就同日本隊啊調轉啦，人哋日本隊先過咗泥地先，跟住再交集。佢哋嘅教練就先再去泥地。
years of age, but he is one of them, won 6 of his 12 starts at Contenders, Gold Cup and Irish Champion Stakes and a futurity trophy. So he's been there, done that. Is he the best of the O'Brien runners, you think, this weekend?
I think so. I mean, he's looked really good. I think Warmhart's got different trains in the bars as well. But Luxembourg, draw, he drew Barrier 10.
不過盧森堡有莫亞咧，都唔能夠睇小晒。即係雖然我覺得佢又未必係即係最後好重冠軍上嗰隻，但係咧。
佢係成日有一啲可以令你意想不到嘅表現，係攝住一啲2位啊、3位嗰啲，你又搞佢唔掂嘅。佢幾韌㗎，翻到嚟你要過佢又唔係咁容易。有時即係香港跑馬都話你高班越慢步速嘅，真係。如果俾佢控慢咗喺前面慢慢嚟嘅話咧，你想搞掂佢真係唔易。
Yeah, of course, the Breeders' Cup form there around Luxembourg, and then of course was it Ascot behind Hookerman was on the fence and looked a little one-paced on what was a slightly testing track there for Luxembourg. As we move on to Cairo now, and we're getting a look at him in the blue saddle cloth with the blue cap here at Cairo. And he's going to be wearing the blinkers for the first time. Aidan's best result of his mile runners down through the years, of course, was behind Golden 60 with Mother Earth when she was 8th in 2020.